Every week, we shall be discussing the Premier League here at the Jaja podcast, dissecting all results and performances from all the teams all over the league. This week, we saw round one of the Premier League and some interesting results coming out there from England. Liverpool played out with Norwich, Brentford defeated Arsenal, and then Newcastle lost interestingly to West Ham at home. Chelsea, comprehensive winners, of course, over Crystal Palace. Manchester United there, drubbing Leeds United in what was supposed to be a very fierce battle at Old Trafford. That all will be discussed in episode 1 of the Jaja podcast, coming back to you from me and Mike.
Goal side of dead wide. It's Rashford. De Bruyne!
Yeah, start off with Arsenal.
Brentford Arsenal. Interesting results there for the newcomers into the Premier League. 75 years away from the league.
Do you think it was an expected result? What's the big issue with Arsenal?
I thought maybe the team selection by Mikel Arteta was miscalculated, particularly for such a fixture. And I thought if he had played Bukayo Saka from the onset, maybe the result could have turned out.
But I think you can understand why certain players didn't make the starting 11, maybe because of their extended international duties, fitness.
Harry Maguire started for United.
Yeah, but that's Manchester United. That's not, we're talking about Arsenal right now. And yes, I feel like with the squad Arsenal, with the starting 11 they had, at least they could they should have competed with Brentford. And like Brentford looked so comfortable against Arsenal in, I think for like 30 minutes in the second half. That's the only time you would feel like Arsenal wanted maybe to hurt them or something.
Yeah,
but
for me,
the entire game they were so comfortable against Arsenal, which is, I don't know, because I've been a huge defender of Mikel Arteta, but I'm also running out of
first of all, okay,
excuses for him.
Before I build on what I wanted to say about the performance, why would you defend Mikel Arteta? I don't think he has even performed half of what he's supposed to do with Arsenal.
No, last season, I don't think it was entirely his fault why Arsenal was mediocre. I think the squad was average and mediocre. And like, I remember when we used to have Jaja more regularly before COVID. There's a time when Aubameyang wanted a new contract, and I was like, you guys, this guy has 1 year on his contract. Many clubs want him. Just sell him, reinvest the money in the squad. But for some reason, Aubameyang got a new deal, and he's supposed to be like the poster boy of Arsenal. But
like I was saying about Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta, I don't think he's the right fit for Arsenal. First reason, I think he's more suited to be an assistant manager than being in the top managerial role at the club. That's
harsh.
one thing. No, it's not harsh. He lacks so much experience because he has blundered a lot with the team selections. And partly, some of the reasons why Arsenal didn't perform well last season and ended up finishing 8th in the league was down to the team selections on match days. He had the chance.
But he's picking
from
an average crop of players.
Yeah, and very many blunders have been made.
Your best performers are teenagers. I don't know what you expect from this team.
I expect him to be consistent. If he's to go with Reece Nelson, game week 1, game week 2, game week 3, go with him. But he fielded him in the first game week, we won the game. Second game week, he benched him, brought in someone else. Fielded Joe Willock at some point, and he felt, Joe Willock cannot work for me this season, so let me loan him out to Newcastle. That inconsistency with the team selections contributed to Arsenal's poor performance.
But you know how we watched Barcelona
the other thing, Edu and Mikel Arteta are taking Arsenal down the tunnel.
Yeah, I also agree with you with the way they handle different things and like transfers and even like hiring Arteta. Because remember, the time you guys wanted Arteta, Ancelotti was there.
Come on, you Gunners.
You guys got Arteta instead because he was a legend.
Who was supposed to get Allegri?
Is Arteta even an Arsenal legend?
Can't be a legend.
Okay, former captain, whatever.
Former captain, and maybe is highly regarded because he was quite unique maybe on the training ground. One of those players that showed abilities maybe to coach at an earlier stage. But I don't think he's the right fit for Arsenal. I'm not disapproving him as a coach, but I'm just saying the club
A club is
The
too
point,
big for him.
it's
right
too
now.
big for him.
It's
The
like
point at
Lampard
which
at
Arsenal
Chelsea.
are right now, they require someone who will stabilize the ship. But as far as I'm seeing Arsenal,
But it's like you
and their
guys keep,
performances in the
keep
next 5
digging
years.
yourselves deeper because I've talked about the Aubameyang thing, and then there's the Martinez thing.
Yeah.
You guys sold Martinez and kept Leno. Okay, I understand. Maybe Leno was bought and you guys expected him to. Okay, I'm not going to say he's a bad keeper, but compared to what Martinez is doing at Aston Villa, I like.
Yeah,
You
like
can't
the
say that
biggest,
was a good
the
deal.
biggest
You
blunder
guys
they
were-
made.
You
in
guys
the
were still the
transfers.
losers in that transfer.
Exactly, there was nothing gained from that transfer. The first
Because
thing,
right now you're investing, is it 50 million, 30 million on Ramsdale? Guy who
exactly,
has been
30 million is
relegated
going to be
twice.
spent on Ramsdale from a
Why?
relegated team, someone who relegated a team. Because I would say the biggest contributor to Sheffield United getting relegated last season was the defense, and Ramsdale was part of that defense.
Yeah, and he has been part of Bournemouth when they went down.
Exactly.
With
So
Sheffield, they
my
went
point
down.
is,
And you guys are going to pay big
Edu
for
and
him.
Arteta have really messed up the entire transfer structure at Arsenal. They are not doing the right things. We might, okay, I was one of the people that blamed Wenger for not signing players, but I'm now starting to understand why at some point he didn't want to bring in new faces into the
No,
team.
at least under
Because-
Wenger, you guys had like, there was light at the end of the tunnel. You could see
Do
what
you
he
know?
was trying to
Do you
build
know that
towards.
Edu has brought in players that are going to be sold off? Some have not played for Arsenal.
Because right now, I personally don't know what Arsenal are doing. Like you watch Arsenal and you can't, like if they're wearing different shirts, you cannot tell that this is Arsenal.
Lucas Torreira has not played 100 games for Arsenal. He's set to be sold all on out again.
He was like 50 million?
Then the
You
defender,
guys splash money in the window for players who do not even help your first team. Joe
brought
Willock, Joe Willock was sent on loan to.
we brought in Pablo Mari, and Pablo Mari was brought in on loan, and then we signed him permanently, and then we don't field him. There's a lot at Arsenal that is not
Yeah,
going
and then
right,
there's
right,
the
right
Joe
now.
Willock thing. He left in Jan and went and basically saved Newcastle from relegation. He scored like 6 goals and like I think more than 6 goals even because he was chasing some record that Van
There's
Nistelrooy
a
hadn't.
lot of work to be done at Arsenal.
And
trust
then
me.
you guys watch your first game. What was the problem? There was no finisher in the team. Like you guys had no goals.
The one person that I thought could have been fielded from the onset to contribute to at least
So-
chance creation.
So why didn't
Bukayo
you guys
Saka.
save 50 M?
Bukayo Saka was supposed to start that game.
Because how much are you buying Odegaard?
30,
Is
around
Odegaard,
30 million
is
euros.
Odegaard any better than Joe Willock?
I don't think so. Right now, I think they're in the same bracket.
Yeah, so
Yeah, in my opinion, I think they're in the same bracket.
so from the first game, a friend of mine told me that Arteta was going to be the first manager to be sacked this season, and I thought he was being harsh, but actually it looks like
And yes, I still
being
stand by that.
himself.
Yeah, I still stand by that. I think he'll be
Massive
the
pick.
first managerial casualty. For me, I think he has around 6 games to turn this around. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of frustration growing. And among those 6 games, he has 3 solid teams that he's supposed to face. Chelsea, Man City and Spurs. So maybe he would get a win against Norwich because he has Norwich at home after the Man City fixture.
Anyway,
Maybe that would be the win
on
he's
that,
supposed
let's
to
talk
get.
about Arsenal Chelsea this weekend. Romelu Lukaku.
Massive fixture
debut.
for Arteta. I think this is
But-
going to be the turning point for Arteta and Arsenal this season.
No, but Arsenal has been like a boogie team. I don't want a boogie team for Chelsea because even last season they didn't beat Arsenal home and away.
Yeah,
In fact, they didn't beat you in the league.
they beat us in the league.
In
The other season, but last season
like
they
it
didn't
was
manage.
the other season Arteta's
Yeah, last
first
season it
game.
was home and away.
Yeah, but it's like Arteta has, okay, that was Frank Lampard, okay, even Tuchel, but it's like Tammy Abraham is in Rome. I don't see who is going to. Do you think that Arteta may do his best tactics and raise the spirits? at
Romelu
Emirates?
Lukaku, and then hope that Jorginho will score an own goal like last time. No, won't work this time round. Mike, looking at the other, okay, still about the Arsenal and Chelsea the upcoming fixture.
Yeah.
I don't think Arsenal are going to come out on top of this game. Reason, they are so low on confidence, and I don't think they have the right personnel heading into this game.
I think Saka is coming back into the team.
Yeah, I hope he'll start the game.
Yeah,
against
I don't know
Chelsea.
what's going on with Lacazette and Aubameyang, but they need to sort their things out because like they're supposed to be the senior players.
The biggest casualties in this Arsenal team, as far as injuries are concerned, are the same people that have been helping Arsenal in the recent past. even when Arsenal was so down in terms of performances, Aubameyang was that player that they would go to help and maybe give them the inspiration, I would say. Something like the inspiration in terms of goals and also that sort of added energy.
Even last season,
Lacazette, he didn't contribute so much in goals.
Aubameyang was off form.
Yeah,
Lacazette was the
coming
guy.
in. Yeah, was the guy to
he
go
was
to.
scoring goals,
And
was assisting.
currently, these two guys are out of the team. So trust me, you don't expect Arsenal to get a result against Chelsea.
Yeah, and you look at Chelsea, they've just won the Champions League, they've won the Super Cup.
Yeah.
Their first game, they were so good.
Trust me, it's going to
Because
be.
even, like, I don't know, Tuchel
be really tough.
Tuchel somehow, I won't compare him like to Klopp, not because they're both German managers or they were both at Mainz, but they implement systems in the team, and regardless of personnel, the players look comfortable.
True.
Because Chalobah played 90 minutes. He looked like he's a senior in that team, and
Exactly.
that was like his debut, isn't it? Like from the academy or
Yeah,
something.
from the Chelsea youth setup, and
Yeah.
is now a first-team player. So that's a huge milestone, of course, for Chelsea to have
Chelsea has
one
a
of their
lot
players
of
coming
players
through the
still
ranks.
coming back, and they won the first game comfortably against an Arsenal legend who people were kind of hyping.
Yeah, but I
Trying
don't
to
think.
do bits at Crystal
No,
Palace.
it was just about the hype, maybe because Vieira is coming back to the Premier League as a manager. He left as a top player, coming back as a manager of Crystal Palace. Should have made some news, but I don't think.
You think if Patrick Vieira gets like a run of good games, you guys might pull the trigger on Arteta and hire Vieira.
Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we hire Vieira right now?
It's basically the same thing. I don't think
Even Crystal
Vieira's
Palace,
managerial
Crystal
career
Palace,
is not like very.
Crystal Palace lost
At
to
least you
Chelsea,
look like-
but you would see some organization in their team.
No, but
They
everywhere Vieira has gone, he has not like. I don't know how to explain this, but you see, Gerrard went to Rangers and ended Celtic's dominance, got them a league title.
Yeah.
Like you get, so you know that guy has like, I don't want to say
In a not
ambition.
so serious league.
Yo,
Let him come and try out the Premier League.
the Scottish League is bloody. Obua was pulling down trees at Hearts. He used to come and post him and share newspapers with me at school every day. Right
I don't want
now,
us to go back down into history. That was the Scottish Premier League back then. But we're having the likes of Motherwell, Dundee United.
Yeah, but still, breaking, like, Celtic had won that league for, like, I think the past 10 years or something like that.
Okay,
For
maybe.
Rangers to come and break their dominance.
Yeah, that was a
It was
huge
like-
milestone for Steven Gerrard. But
Yeah,
Celtic
for,
had
like,
a bad
what do you
season.
know about Vieira? Vieira was
How-
at what, Nice? I think he was fired.
With mediocre players. Give him good players. Give him Aubameyang and Lacazette every week, and you'll see Vieira performing.
So
Yes,
you've heard it here first, Vieira in.
Arteta out. I don't know why. These guys are really frustrating me. I want to post that video on my WhatsApp status, but it's taking too long. But anyway, moving on to some other news coming in from the Premier League. Liverpool also facing Norwich, which I normally term it as Luis Suarez FC, because Liverpool always
But by the way,
somehow always find a way of beating these guys easily.
like,
But
I
Mohamed
have
Salah,
no
they are
memory.
setting
I have no
records.
memory of Norwich ever like trying to beat Liverpool. The last time they almost beat them was that time when we were watching the game at your home, and Adam Lallana scored the fifth goal in like the 90th minute. Or something.
At the time, yeah.
The game ended like, was it 5-4 or something like that? Other than that, those guys have been beaten,
Mohamed Salah,
thumped.
5th consecutive season.
I think when they
Scoring on
unleash the
opening day.
fixture and Norwich is in the league, Liverpool just looks for the fixture and they just put there like rest,
Sure win.
rest days.
Rest day. Anyway, Liverpool, of course, for me, my highlight from that game, yeah, they looked quite decent, but I didn't see them playing at that level that I expect Liverpool to be playing
Because the
at.
midfield was trash.
Exactly. There were moments when Norwich could have taken the lead. Yeah?
Yeah.
The defense looked a bit shaky. I don't know, maybe it's because VVD has been quite away from the setup for some time, but they looked a bit shaky for me. But all in all, you expect a big team to pull out a result, and they were lucky to have scored.
But they
The
still
first
have,
goal
they
they
still have
scored, of course,
Fabinho
was
to
from
come back.
a poor mistouch by Salah, and
They still have Fabinho to come back in the midfield. Who else?
no, I don't think so. Jordan Henderson is also supposed to come back, and
Henderson does not give me that.
For me,
whatever,
I felt it was an easy fixture for them.
Fabinho or Wijnaldum, but they have not even replaced Wijnaldum. There's that kid who was at Derby. Was it Derby? Yeah, Harvey Elliott. Yeah, at least that's someone to look forward to. But other than that, that's why I say among the teams that are going to compete for the league, Man City, Man U, Chelsea, Liverpool need a season when they are first 11, no injuries.
True, they need a good season. Last season, I thought maybe Van Dijk's injury affected the entire team so much. You would see that the performances were.
Yeah, their squad is thin. They've tried to work around that. They've gotten Konate. Yeah, and they already had other good centre backs. But last season, it was not just Van Dijk. Gomez was out as well.
Do you fancy Norwich to survive relegation this season?
No.
They will go down.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next fixture, that is Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Of course, we've really heated about the result. Chelsea, they are coming out victorious over Crystal Palace, 3-0 on the day. Goals, of course, from unusual sources. Wouldn't say unusual, but they are not the guys that you'd expect to be bagging the goals for Chelsea.
But who bags goals
Alonso,
for Chelsea? That was their That was their biggest problem last season. They had no
coming out as a top scorer,
and Tuchel, that's what happens when you're working with oligarchs.
For me, my standout player from the day in that game was Marcos Alonso. Again, the same question comes up each and every time. What went wrong between Marcos Alonso and Frank Lampard? Why wasn't Lampard fielding this guy? At some point, Chelsea even wanted to sell this guy.
Marcos Alonso is playing right now because Chilwell is tired. He's going to get out of that team again. They have a driver's license.
Anyway,
you see when you have Abramovich, an owner who has so much interest in the game or the team. This guy analyzed his team and is last season Chelsea was not scoring goals. Yeah, but they were winning 1-0.
So they had to bring in a striker, a recognized striker.
Gave him 100 M's, go and buy yourself.
They didn't sign Timo Werner.
Tammy is not too hot to handle anymore.
Okay. Of course.
And talk about that. Tammy Abraham going to Rome.
One of the biggest moves in the transfer windows, Romelu Lukaku moving from Inter Milan to Chelsea. Do you see him as someone that, of course, is going to come in and compete with the likes of Harry Kane for the Golden Boot this season?
Yeah, I think he's going to score.
My expectations are Lukaku is expected to hit the ground running right away from the Arsenal game, the upcoming fixture. He's supposed to start from where his predecessor, because I think the last
Drogba.
Exactly. Supposed to start from where Drogba left off, facing Arsenal, get the goals, and then people will talk about Lukaku maybe scoring game week in, game week out, and also
because
providing a better alternative.
Chelsea scored. Chelsea created a lot of chances.
They can't keep on relying on penalties this season. VAR has thickened the lines, and also the referees have been given more stricter guidelines.
There was not a lot of VAR, whatever.
Exactly, that's something. Yeah, there was no little intervention, but I think they copied from the Euros. You must have seen that in the Euros there was little interference from VAR for every decision, and I think they've borrowed a leaf. It's time for the Englishmen to start accepting that. But much as football might have come from England, supposedly, they should start accepting that there are people that can do things better than them in the world of football.
Yeah, but we already talked that the Euros predominantly hosted in England. Anyway, Lukaku is going to score goals.
They did that to appease England.
Do you think Tammy Abraham deserved a chance? And why doesn't Tuchel like him?
For me, I thought the rightful player.
Why doesn't Tuchel and Tariq like Tammy Abraham? Because the season before last,
let me be honest with you,
he was Chelsea's top scorer. He had 15 league goals.
Let me be honest with you. I don't like Chelsea. So I can't tell you whether Tuchel likes Tammy Abraham.
No, just pretend when you're watching Chelsea games. Just pretend you're watching London Blue.
I don't like pretending.
So how are you going to talk about Chelsea next week? Because Chelsea are going to be in the headlines this season. Let them come and collect the win from the Emirates. We shall start from there. Because once they beat us, then the Arteta out brigade will have more firepower. If we win, then we lose a grip on the Arteta out hashtag. I know who to support this weekend.
Yeah, Newcastle, West Ham, of course, they are comprehensively grabbing the win. It wasn't an easy fixture for them. They came from behind twice.
Had a game of two halves. In the first half, he was clearly not basmati rice. Must have been like Pakistan
True. But that game
But
for
in the
me,
second half, he turned
interestingly,
it around.
yeah, interestingly, that for me the highlight from that game was the performance of Ben Rama.
Yeah.
Those guys signed from Brentford last season. I think last season he was one of those players who are regarded to be
He was expected to break
a bit
through.
dull.
Yeah.
But his performance in that game was so encouraging, and I felt that if he can maintain that same momentum throughout the season, then West Ham are going to have someone up front there to contribute also to the goals that Anthony has been scoring for them.
Yeah, they also have Jesse Lingard still
So,
to come.
man,
The rumors.
West Ham, for me, I fancy West Ham to finish
they're in
way
Europe.
above Arsenal this season.
But I don't think because they're in the Europa this season. I think they're in the Europa, right?
And they
Yeah,
need the
they're in the
squad
Euro-
depth.
they
Yeah,
need the squad depth. They need
the
all the
depth.
players
They
they
need
can
all the
get.
players they can get hold of. And if they can secure a Lingard loan, then it will be a good season for David Moyes.
Yo,
And, Mark Noble.
imagine when the universe were talking about David Moyes yet a few years ago, no one wanted him.
Yeah, that's what they call life. But anyway, another fixture, interestingly,
Hey, we
Watford.
didn't even talk about this. How they unveiled Joe Willock,
Massive,
bad boy, in
massive.
front of the Magpies.
Exactly. He's
You
a
guys
player
don't
that is
deserve
befitting of such a ceremony. They had to unveil him like a star player. Joe Willock, coming in from the Gunners, Arsenal, who are going to finish again below West Ham and Newcastle. But anyway, Mike, the other standout fixture for me, Manchester United, of course, thrashing Leeds
The Roses Derby.
in a game that I felt Leeds could have done more on the day.
Would they?
They could have.
I don't think.
The manner in which they conceded all the goals, they could have defended better on the second
I think
goal.
that's how Man
the third
United
goal.
is these days. It's like teams like Leeds that set up like that. They are kind of very easy for United to counter because of the pace we have, and like when Pogba is on that form, like there's nothing you can do.
Paul Pogba, of course, making headlines there with
4
his mate
assists.
Bruno Fernandes. 4 assists and Fernandes grabbing a hat-trick on the day. Great performance from Manu. And I think maybe for
Because
United,
United
it's-
first, I think not struggled, but they were in the first half, they were the better team, and they deserve to get the goal and go ahead.
it's
But,
good.
like, they
It's
should
good
have
that they are
done
winning
more.
games from the onset because it can help them build some momentum and maybe finish second again in the league this season.
But like in the second half, after Leeds equalized, it was that quick reaction. They were like, "You guys have scored."
Okay.
They are trying to show that
Shout out to all those Manu fans who have already
people captain
started
Bruno
printing.
Fernandes,
Who have already started printing jerseys with winners of 2021-22 season.
treble winners.
Treble winners.
Treble
Shout
winners.
outs to you. Win the league. I still think they will finish second. Then Mike.
And United still has more to come.
Yeah.
Varane was unveiled in front of the fans, just like Joe Willock.
And
Jadon Sancho had like
he's a pretty good, decent speaker of
English.
Yeah. I wasn't aware of that until I saw a clip midweek
No, I had some.
where he was being interviewed by Manchester United TV, and
Yeah, I
he
had
has a
that.
good
Like,
hold of the language.
he likes to have a connection with the fans because even when he went to Real Madrid, his first interview was in Spanish. He made sure he learned Spanish so that he could communicate. Like he wants to have a connection
With the fans instantly.
Yeah.
Okay, Tottenham Man City, 1-0 there. Song Heung-min proving again to be a stubborn.
Man City look
Thorn
like they are
in the
not
Man City
up to the
defense.
paces yet. I don't know if have they had like preseason yet or anything. Or this is their preseason.
They had preseason matches.
Because they were
Mahrez was
struggling
scoring
in
goals
that
from
game.
all angles.
'Cause if
Although
they-
their matches were not televised, but they had so many preseason games, around 8
Because
games.
if they play another counter-attacking team with that intensity of theirs, they will be beaten again.
But
It doesn't
you
matter
should,
if they
you,
play,
for
what's their
me,
next
my highlight, of course, from that game won't be the goal. It was just the way Tottenham set up themselves to defend the build-up play by Man City from the back. You would see blocks of 3. They started defending from the front, something they were not doing under the previous coach. Of course, that was Jose Mourinho. Against Man City this recent weekend, the defending was in narrow blocks right from the front. Something that stopped Man City from playing through the channels. And Fernandinho was denied the ball on several occasions. So the ball would go out to the flanks, to the likes of Benjamin Mendy. And then it proved to be a problem for them to progress forward. Because every time Mendy carried the ball in an attack for Man City, Jeffrey Tanganga was there to stop him
So,
from progressing.
so do you
So
think,
I think
do you
that was a
think Man
plus. The
City-
hugest
Man City really
plus.
need like a number 9,
Exactly.
Someone
And the
who
hugest who can
attract attention
exactly
from
from the
players.
defenders.
And you
They
free up
didn't
your
have someone
wingers.
recognized in the front three that would make the Tottenham
mean,
defenders sit back the whole
Ferran
game.
Torres was playing false 9, but he was a real false
And
9.
the biggest transfer move for me this season is going to be the move of Nuno Espírito Santo from Wolves to Tottenham. Trust me, you'll come back to this episode
No, but,
and then
but
revisit it.
Spurs always beats Man City. I don't think this can be like.
The tactical
now-
setup of the man was brilliant and spot on the day. Trust me, Mike.
I'm not sold yet.
We don't normally agree on certain things, but you have to agree. You know, Espírito Santo.
Yeah, he's a good coach, but I'm not sold yet. And he also has a good record against.
Shout out to all the Man City fans who crossed over from Arsenal and Liverpool and Manchester United to go and support oil money. But anyway, that's the beauty about football. Jamie Vardy scored for Leicester there to secure a narrow win over Wolves. I felt that maybe this game could have ended in a draw for both teams, but it was one of those days where the home side was much favoured because Jamie Vardy there proved again to be such a brilliant player.
Yeah,
and midweek,
And
his
you see what
comments
he did after scoring. That guy feeds off hate. He had to go and mock the away fans.
he has been doing this for a very long time. He has mocked almost all the teams that he has scored.
And no, at least I recruited Paxson Daka.
Yeah, Patson Daka from RB Leipzig.
And they have
Zambia is
Kelechi.
having a player
Kelechi
in the
Nacho,
Premier League, and Uganda has not yet had one player to play in any team in the Premier League.
Savian, sorry.
I tell you one funny stat. Patson Daka was in the under-17 Zambian team that faced the Ugandan team here in Nachivugo back in 2013. I did my research and I dug out
Yeah.
that none of those under-17 players that featured against Patson Daka that day are playing competitive football right now. The state of Ugandan football.
COVID.
Yeah, but anyway, I think we've pretty much discussed everything from the first game week of the Premier League, and I would like to say we are back right now on all platforms. We shall be relaying this podcast on YouTube and also on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and remember to hit that like button and also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We shall be bringing all the previews and reviews of all the matches from Europe's top 5 major leagues each and every week.
Also, before we leave, Lewandowski scored against Dortmund again.
But Bayern
They won the Super Cup
the league.
again.
The league.
Again.
It's been a nice, I would say, breakdown of results with Mike after such a long time, of course, away from the podcast.
Yeah.
It's
And
good to have you back.
I think we should also talk about, because in the news recently, Lewandowski says he needs a new challenge started with Bayern Munich. What does that mean for Mr. Harry Kane?
Okay, Mike, we shall discuss all this in the next episode. The guy on the camera, thanks for being with us throughout this time, Uncle O. Till next time, it's been the Soccer Jaja Podcast, episode 1. From me and Mike, till next time, we're signing out. COIG, Hala Madrid.
See you next week.